Hello dear students. Today we are going to discuss about the implementation of the stake with the help of list. So let's try to understand first what is stake. So stake is basically a kind of data structure where we can store the data elements. One particular element can be of one value or it can be of multiple values also. And here you can see pile of the dishes are shown here. And in this case if we want to take out one particular dish, then we have to take it from the top, and if we want to insert any dish in this sequence, then we have to add it at the top. So basically we are removing the elements from the top, we are deleting the element from the top. The same concept is applied with the stake. So what happens in the stake, the elements are stored in such a way that it can be inserted and can be deleted from the top. And top is what? Top is representing the element at the last, right? So the operation of insertion is known as the push operation, of deletion is known as what? Pop operation. So we have to remember the terminology also. So if we have the empty stack, it will look like this. If you want to push one particular element, then the element will be the only element in that. If we push another element, so you can see here that after 1, the above element is the 2. So we have inserted the element at the above of 1, not at the below. Okay. So it is the one in this case, for example, where the cursor is moving, in this case the only element is 1. And after that when we insert it, so above 1 we have to insert the element. Then the next element will go above like that. And if you want to remove in this case any element, then it will be 2 because it is at the top. So this is what the pop operation of the stake. Now we'll try to implement with the help of some example. For example, this is a list, values that we want to insert in this, the salary. Okay, this salary list, or you can say the same thing here. So we are trying to create a stake of salaries, or you can say the list of salaries. So we are using the list, implementing the list in such a way that it performs in the concept of last and first out, right? So if I want to insert a particular element, then I will take it in the list. Okay, for example, I want to insert salary in this 10,000. So this is my first element. Okay, you can see here the forward indexing is there, the backward indexing is there. So we can get the position of particular index of particular data value here. So the same thing is, we are representing here the same 10,000 here. Okay, so this is my first, so I am using the forward index only here in this case. The value of top in this case, the top is 0. Okay, so the top will represent the position or the index of the topmost element in the stake. So in this case, if we talk about the forward index, then the value is 0. So we are not having the values, so we cannot go with the backward indexing. So we'll follow the forward indexing only. Okay. So this is the top index. What is the index of top? 0. And what is the element at the top? 10,000. So this 10,000 is the peak value right now. Peak value is what? The value at the top position of the stake. Now I want to insert another value, that is 20,000. So if I insert 20,000, in that case this is inserted like this at the last of the element, and in this stake we will see it like this. Okay, 20,000. Now the index will be 1, since it is also represented with the same list, but it will look like this. And this top is now representing to this particular element 20,000. So like that, if we insert another element 30,000, we can insert it like this. Okay, and the top will be shifted to the next index, and the index is 2, right? So like this in this. Now if I want to remove one particular element, then which one is possible to remove in this case? Only this 30,000 is possible to remove. We cannot directly remove this 20,000, 10,000. Why? Because it is working on the basis of last and first out. So which one is last, that will be taken out first. It means that the only element right now is possible to remove is the 30,000. Okay, I think it is clear now. So this is the way in which we can insert the elements. So you have to insert an element. So what kind of functions of the list we can use for the insert? So insert is known as basically what? Push operation. Okay, so push operation is our insert, and for this purpose we simply use the append function. Append function of what? List. You know that how to use the append function. So by using the, so we can say the list name dot append, and after that we have to pass the value that we have to enter. Now remember this thing, that this value is the value of element in the list. Is it clear? For example, here it is 10,000, but it can be changed also. Okay, sometime we'll see this, that how the list can have the different type of values inside this. Okay, so list name dot append, so definitely it will add the value at the last. So this will work fine for us for the pushing purpose of the value in the stake. Okay, if we want to remove, delete, what do we want to do? We want to delete element from the, or this is known as what? Pop operation. So if I want to delete one particular element from the stake, then I have to use the function which is known as what? Pop function. The similar function, the name is similar, pop function. This pop function is actually removing the last element and returning it also. So it removes the last element. For example, in this case, if I do this pop operation, then it will remove this 30,000. So that is the two important functions that we should always remember, and that is the only thing that is required to understand about the stake. Now we can easily implement it. Okay, now let's try to make the changes in the data values of the list, or you can say the stake. Let's try to understand this. Okay, for example, in this case we have taken 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So the data element inside the list is of single value. Now if I want to take, for example, I want to take a list of tuples. Okay, for example, 1 comma Ajay, like that. Okay, for example, I have taken this. So this is my first value. So it is what? It is representing the list of tuples. So this is the first value, and the next value will be something different. So this is my another value in this. So in this case, what will happen? This particular value will be the first value, complete value of the top element. Okay, this one is the complete value of the top element, like this. Okay, next time. And if we take another element, then, so in this case, if we take only the two elements, then it will represent the, this particular value will be represented by the top. Right. So in this way, so we can have the list of single values. Alright. And that can be implemented with the list of integers, list of float values, list of strings also. Okay. Then list of tuples we can take list of lists also. Okay, nested form of list. We can take the list of dictionary also. Okay, in the dictionary, you know, we can also take the list of keys. Okay, list of keys also, keys from the dictionary, list of values from the dictionary. So these are the different ways in which we can create a list. Okay, and these list implementation we have to do in the form of stake. Last, we have to follow the last in first out concept. Okay, so let's try to understand it with the help of proper implementation using the code. Now I take you to the Python interface. So this is the Python script mode where we can write the program. Okay, so we'll try to implement it. For example, I want to implement the stake of integer values. Okay, so how these value can be entered? Either we will take the each value from the user and then we will enter one by one into the stake. Okay, we'll do like that. So how can we insert it? Number one, the first way is to take the values, okay, value from user and insert it into the stake. This is the first way. Okay, what the next? Another way, okay, that we can to take values from already existing data objects, right? So we can take the values from the another list, list or tuple or dictionary. Okay, we are taking the stake as list object, and that is empty right now. Okay, there is no element in this. Okay, now I want to follow this one to take the values from the already existing objects. So it can come in the object can be a list, can be a tuple, can be a dictionary. So we have to insert it like this. So we'll take three objects. Okay, the first object is, I'm taking list 1 is equal to, for example these are 5 values. Then another I want to take as tuple. Okay, tuple 1 is equal to, and then I want to take dict dictionary 1 is equal to. So I can take the values in the form of list, in the form of tuple, in the form of dictionary also. Now we'll try to implement. The first thing we'll try to implement this stake. So we have to create a function. So I'm creating a function here. Now this is my function. So what I want to pass in this, I want to pass stake, okay, and the element. So we can say the data, stake data. Okay, so stake will represent my actual stake and data will represent the values that I want to insert in this. Okay, in this case we can directly insert the value in this. So here you will find that if I want to push all the elements together, okay, then this data will not be a single value. This will represent the set of all these values. So we can pass the data, we can pass in the form of lists. So this I have taken, and I will push the each element of this list one by one. Okay, so I will take for I in list 1. So I will take one by one element from the list 1, and then what we will perform? We will perform the push operation. So for the push operation, which function we have to use? We have to use the append function. So append we will apply on what? On the list, and list name is what? Stake. Okay, stake dot, since we have passed this stake dot append. Okay, append, and what we need to append? I, because I will keep the values. So by this you will find that the first element will be appended or added in the stake. Next time the second element, next time the third element, like that. So you will find that all these elements are added inside this particular stake. Now what happens if it is asked that only those elements you have to insert inside this which are divisible by 5, or you can say which are divisible by 45, like that. Okay, so whatever condition is given, in that case we have to first apply the condition if I modulus, okay, 5 equal 0. So these are the elements which are divisible by 5. In this case you will find that all the elements are divisible by 5, because this is the list 1, 5, 25, 100, 125, 775. So this is how actually we have to add the elements. I hope that it is clear to you that we have to take the stake, we have to take the list, and from the list we have to keep the track of each element, and then if some kind of condition is to be satisfied, then we have to satisfy that condition. If it is that, in that case we have to append that value in the stake. So this is the way how easily we can insert the elements from the list. Now take the example of this tuple. So tuple, what you need to change? The similar type of concept, as we know that tuple also follows the similar type of concept with the list. Only the difference is that the tuple is immutable while the list is mutable. Okay, so tuple 1. So we need to make the changes accordingly. We will change this. If some condition is to be satisfied, then we will follow this and we will append this the same way. Now what about the dictionary? Okay, so in dictionary what happens? Let's see this. As we know, in the dictionary, okay, these are the keys inside the dictionary, and these are the actual values inside the data values inside the. If I take this, so if I do like this for I in DICT1, in that case, as we know that if we perform like this, then it returns the index. Okay, so in this case what it will return? It will return the index. So you can also apply the condition if it is required. So what it will append at this time? It will append 1 2 3. Okay, that we will see. That let's call this and try to understand this. Okay, so we have to call first the function. Okay, stake push, we have to call it. The same parameter we have to pass here, DICT1, and then push it. Okay, so you can see here that 1 2 3 is the element in this. So if we are passing directly, we are accessing the elements from the dictionary directly in this way, then it will return the keys of the dictionary. Okay, so if we use this dictionary in this way, then it will return what? The keys. Okay, if I want the values, then what we need to do? Then we have to apply the function values. Okay, there is function keys also, so through that we can use the keys, or you can use it like this. If you call it, then you can see here that the values are entered. If somebody says that I don't want to use this, why don't we directly use, since this dictionary one will return what? The keys. So I can apply this keys inside the dictionary, then also it will return the same thing. Okay, then also it will return the same thing. So the values will be appended in the dictionary. I hope that you have got this. Either you use dictionary1.values function, or use directly dictionary1, so it will return the keys, and then apply these keys inside it, so that it will return the values. Okay, so these are the two ways which we can implement this push operation. So we have taken the example of list, we have taken the example of tuple, we have taken the example of dictionary also. Now we will try to understand the pop operation. Okay, so in the pop operation, basically what we want to do? We want to remove the elements. Okay, so we'll apply the function, pop function. Okay, take the stake. The only stake is required in this case. Okay, here what happens actually, when we are popping the elements from the stake, there may be the situation that there is no element in the stake. So that situation is known as the underflow situation. It means that there is no such element which can be accessed. So we have to apply the condition first for that. Okay, if stake equal empty, okay, it's an empty stake, in that case we have to print that stake underflow. Okay, stake underflow. Okay, and we cannot remove the element from the stake. So it should be the part of the coding, otherwise your answer will not be correct. Okay, so if stake equal empty, else means that there will be definitely some element in the stake. It can be one element, it can be multiple element. We are applying the pop function to remove the element. So I am taking this element is equal to, okay, stake dot, the function that we are using for the pop is what? Pop function. Okay, so this pop function which automatically remove the element from the last element from the stake, and it will return it in the element. Okay, so we are saving it, the value of the popped element, in the element variable. Now we can say, we can print this, that the element Okay, element, which element which is stored in this, okay, this variable element is popped from stack, or it is removed from the stack, we can say. Right, now we nothing we need to do, because if this was the only element, then automatically the list will become empty. If it is the last element, then the last element will be removed, the remaining will be there. Okay, in this way our actually this particular stack deletion will work. Okay, now we can call this function if we want to pop one particular element. Okay, so we have to pass the stack in this. Let's try to execute this stack. We have to pass inside this, and here only one element is popped. Print the stack here. See, first if you execute this, then you know this is the calling of this push stack push function. So it will add the element from the dictionary in this case. Okay, the 100, 200 and 300. So that is we have implemented. After that it will remove the last element, and what is the last element? 300. So that's why it is showing as 300. Now we can easily see this. So this is my stack, and out of this 300 is popped now. Now let's see how to display all the elements. Okay, how to display all the elements. So we'll write the name as display stack display. Okay, here also we'll take stack. Again the same situation. If there is no element, the stack is empty, what we can display? We can display nothing. So we'll take the same condition here. If stack equal empty, okay, we'll print the same thing, stack underflow. Okay, else means that there are some elements. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to understand the concept. For example, if there is only one element, okay, there can be one element, there can be two elements, there can be three elements, there can be four elements. So like that situation can be there. Okay, there can be multiple elements in the list. Okay, in the stack. So what we need to do, this is the top. If these are the elements, then this is the top. How to get the index of the top? So we can get the index of the top by this len of this particular stack minus 1. So len is a function. Okay, so through that function we can easily, so len of stack minus 1, this is the function through which we can easily find out the index of the last element, which is the top. As we know that we can access the elements through the top only, so we have to come down one by one. Okay, we'll start tracing the elements from the top and we'll come down one by one up to the last element. So what function we need to follow? Let's see. Okay, try to understand. So we will apply the for loop here for I in range. We will apply this function range, then len of stack, okay, minus 1 comma. Since we are coming backwards, we are decreasing the index one by one, so we'll take it minus 1. Up to minus 1 we have to come, and we have to reduce it by minus 1. Okay, now we have to print. What we need to print? We need to print the stack I. So this I will represent what? The reverse index of the list elements starting from the top, and will print the elements. Let's try to, but we have not called it. As you know that the function cannot execute without its calling, so we need to call the function. Okay, we're calling it, and we have to pass stack. Let's see what happens. So you can see here that since this 300 is popped from the stack, now the remaining element are 200 and 100. So it is displayed here in this way. Okay, so this is how we can easily implement the stack with the help of list. I hope that you have got an idea. In the next session we'll discuss We'll try to solve the different examples of the stake that come in the exam. I'll try to find the solutions. Thank you very much.